Right, so we're here at Greenpeace at the CeBIT 2008. So what do you show here?
We're here to deliver this message to the IT industry that they have to clean up their act and take responsibility on the waste generated by their electronic device.
Yeah? How much waste is that?
Well, according to the UN, they don't really even know. They estimate between 20 to 50 million waste generated annually, which is enormous. And most of it escape to poor countries which has to deal with it.
So, what do you say? 20 to 50 million what?
Tons, sorry.
Tons?
Yes, tons.
20 to 50 million tons. And it's going where?
Well, it depends from where it starts. But in the EU, for example, we consider that 25% of the e-waste generated are being held responsibly. It means collected.
Only 25%.
Only 25%, and 75% escape.
Escape in this container.
So
or what?
it doesn't mean that they escape abroad. It could mean that they escape from responsibility. I mean that it could be in your attic, in your garage. You know, it could be in a landfill and should not be there. It could be in an incinerator and should not be there. Also, according to EU laws. Also, we know that a lot of illegal export is happening to India, to Africa, to China. When you looked at the US, they don't even have a law, a federal law on the waste, and no law on the export as well. So on the 80% which escape from the US, probably everything goes through legal export to Asia.
So from US, all their electronic waste is going to Asia? Legally?
Most of it. Perfectly legally, because the US is not a signatory of the Basel Convention, which prevents the export of hazardous waste.
When was the Basel Convention? What is that?
It's an international convention in the UN, which was created in the 90s and supposed to prevent hazardous waste from the OECD country, the rich country, to go to poor countries. In
the 90s, during Clinton?
It was the whole process started in the 80s and was more or less, but whatever the president of the United States was, the US did not sign it yet, not ratify it yet. So for them it's perfectly legal to ship anything which is waste to other countries.
Do we know how much of the waste goes to Asia or Africa? Where does it go? Do we know?
It's very difficult to know that because, of course, there is no statistics on this. We know that in the US, because nothing prevents, so you don't want to see this waste in your backyard. So
so they just put it in a container and just ship it on a big ship. On a big ship, it goes to some country. And what do they do over there? It's just what do they do?
What you can see happening in China or in India is mostly some kind of rudimentary recycling done by informal sector, which mean like poor workers, women, children are dealing with that. They are burning the motherboards of computers.
They're burning with fire.
With fires, without protections, trying to get some
to melt the metal or something.
To melt the metals and get them recovered with a very, of course, a low recovery rate. But still, it's a business which is lucrative for them.
And it's very toxic, no?
And it's very toxic for the workers. It's very toxic for the environment as well. And that's what we could witness around these places. That the water, the soil is very contaminated by all kind of toxics, very persistent, meaning that they will stay there for decades.
How about when rich countries give used computers to some poor countries? Is there some escape where actually the computer is used for recycle this kind of stuff instead?
That would be also a way of escape, because it's very good to have this kind of charity donation.
It looks good.
It looks good, to close what we call the
digital divide.
Digital gap or divide. But the problem is if you don't offer solutions which go along with it, or if you don't offer a take-back system to bring them back where they could be fit with, which means in the US or in Europe, then you just give them a problem with...
you give them a little bit of metal that they will have to destroy the environment for getting
if you look at Africa, there is not a technical solution for those wastes. So mobile phones, computers get maybe a second life there.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to final, not even the informal recycling which is happening in China or in India takes place in Africa.
What do you think about the OLPC project, the $100 laptop? Do you think that will fix some of it, or?
I think it's an interesting project as an education project and as also a way to close the digital divide. But still, I mean, it doesn't mean that it should not also care about what is going to happen with this OLPC.
A few years later, when it's finished,
you still have to put the system
in place to organize the recycling.
For responsible recycling.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Thank you.
You're welcome.